people have opinions on absolutely everything, so of course.
Everything, everything. But first of all, I want to say, while you know, I love these lists because they always bring about discussion. You know, discussion leading up to the various award shows, and you know, artists will look for these type of recognitions to open up the doors for them.
Right.
Can you tell us what was the what was the initial process in coming up with these names?
Well, we start talking to people in about September, October of last year. We talked to, a lot of different people in the industry, everyone we come across. We talked to friends. We talked to, writers. We talked to the, record execs. We talked to pretty much everyone about who they think could be a freshman. We meet a lot of the freshmen, go see their live shows, listen to their projects. We're on YouTube a lot. We spend about 6 months of time doing research before we finally pick the list. And, we try to be as up on everything we can as possible before we make our decisions.
Is there any emphasis put in one particular area in which you guys look at and picking that particular artist? For example, their social media push, any influence by the label, their management, anything? Is it a straight line situation where everything has to kind of balance out for you guys?
We take everything into consideration. We take your social into consideration, your numbers there. We take what label you're on. We take what crew you're from and how many people are going to come out with projects before you, because there's a line when you're in a crew with a whole bunch of people. There's different priorities. We take everything in consideration. You might not have a huge social, but you might be doing something in another way. You might have just a huge social fan base, and that shows that really you've got your community. You've got something built already, but you need another platform in another way. So everything is taken in consideration, from who's the big person you have backing you to are you indie versus major, all of it.
Okay, I want to introduce my colleague, Crystal Wilkins, and she's also a reporter for Hip Hop Inquirer, and she might have a few questions for you as well.
Sure. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Same here.
So one of my questions is, who all is involved or influences the final selection for the cover?
The whole staff picks it. The XXL staff.
Okay, so do you guys vote, or how?
We have a lot of meetings, and we have meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and we narrow it down through voting, through arguing, through effort, through everything to come up with the final list. But it's the XXL staff with input from everybody that we talk to.
How much influence do my buddy Shaheem Reed have in this year's selection?
Shah gets the same amount as everybody else. We want to know what Shah thinks, definitely. We talk to him. He comes from the industry, know who he works with, what he's affiliated with, and what he's the most familiar with, and we definitely take everything he says to heart, along with a lot of the other guys in the industry. So he goes into that pool.
I looked at your selection of August Alsina, and while he's a very talented individual, I was a little surprised that Mac Wild didn't make that cover. Especially
Mac Wild can't be on the cover because he had an album that came out already that was nominated for a Grammy. So you can't have an official album that comes out by the time that we do the freshman shoot. And he had an album that came out already, and it came out a few months ago now. So not really right to consider him with everybody else if he's got that album out. He's a beyond freshman. Freshman is time you haven't had your big rollout yet. And your rollout comes with that big first album. So he had his rollout, and his next project would be his second one. So it didn't fit in. It didn't make sense. It wasn't right. August Alsina's album came out after the freshman shoot. That's a big thing for us.
I'm a fly on the wall right now. At the time you guys were making the selection, I know there were some heated discussions because these selections are always, there's always someone say, well, no, that person shouldn't make it. Can you tell me, tell our viewers, what was one of the biggest hurdles you guys had to overcome and choosing any one particular talent? I'm sure you had like a large pool of talent, not really a large pool, but enough people that you could have selected from. For example, who was your favorite, or the one you was pushing pretty hard for?
I mean, I wasn't pushing for just one person. There's certain people you have to get because they're big right now. Isaiah Rashad is important right now. Chance the Rapper is important right now. Rich Homie Quan's important right now. They've already had success or something that's proven that they're on the right track. So there's those guys, but you're not just doing 5, you're doing 10. not everybody is set up like that. So you're doing a bunch of guys that are already kind of shown and proven in a lot of ways, but still aren't completely there, and you're doing the guys that are still kind of on the come up and a little bit more ways to go, but they're all kind of at the same level.
I've been on a lot of photo shoots over the years. How hard was it to get all these people together, coordinate?
Well, the photo shoot, we should get a medal just for the photo shoot. I mean, we should say the cover doesn't matter, none of that. The photo shoot, we had 12 guys this year. You have to get them at the same location on the same day and have them stay there for 10 to 12 hours, which is a long day for them already. You have to try to keep it as secret as possible. You have about 100 people there with all the video crews, because there's 3 different video crews. There's, the photography crew for the cover. There's behind-the-scenes photography. There's different brands that are there. There are, well over 100 bodies that are there for the day, not including the rappers and all of their, their entourage, and we limit that as well. So I think that the biggest feat for us is, that day itself, is being able to pull off 12 artists at the same place at the same time, trying to keep it secret and get everything you can, and then keep them fed and happy.
How much security did you have on that set?
We only did 3 security guards. We actually got some security guards from the city. I can't remember what clubs they were at, but they came in and they had their suits on. They were professional, and they let everyone know, you're not going upstairs, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. We don't want to lose any of them during the day, to bounce off to radio. We don't want everyone to come to town and everyone to know that they're there and put together the freshman shoots happening because everybody's in town. So we have a lot of different ways that we do, have different secrets or things we try to trick people with so people don't know the shoot happened.
Because I didn't know.
It's a lot of work. It's a big, big, big undertaking. Yep. We use 5, 6 different studios in the day. It's a big thing. We're on 2 different floors. It's a big production.
So have you ever had any artists who turned down the cover or have had to cancel at the last minute? And how do you go about adjusting to that and handling those types of situations?
This year, Young Thug decided he wasn't going to be a part of it around 10:30, 11 o'clock the night before. So we said, okay, you're not going to be a part of it. When he called back the next day and he wanted to be a part of it, at a later date, we said the freshman class is for people who made it that day and made a priority to be there. And if he couldn't be there, it wasn't like we were going to pencil him in and get his stuff the other day. Then he can't be part of the ciphers. Then he can't be part of the group cover and all that. So you have to make sure you're there that day. And for whatever reason you can't be there, if it's a horrible personal tragedy, we have a little bit of a, that's a different conversation. But if you just decide not to show up, or you just don't want to come for whatever reason, and you're kind of putting us in a weird spot, then, we're not going to figure out how to put you in later. You missed a day. So you got to show up to be there.
It's not a prerequisite for everyone to actually be on that cover, but they will be in the issue. Correct?
What do you mean? No.
Everyone.
No, what do you mean?
Like, for example, you pick 12 people, but you have one person can't show up for that day, and you made a concession for that person. And
no, we had 13 people, and one person couldn't make up for the day, so we kept it at 12, and he's not in the issue.
Okay.
So the 12 people who were there made it on the cover.
Okay, and going back to August Alsina, there's a lot of reaction on Twitter about your addition of August Alsina and Ty Dolla $ign on the cover. So what are your thoughts on the addition of R&B artists to the freshman class?
My thoughts are I'm into it, we did it, so I'm definitely into it. Rappers are singing, singers are rapping. Everybody's doing, the lines are blurred as to who's supposed to do what. Ty Dolla $ign and August are 2 dudes that are going to have similar fan bases as a lot of the rappers. They're going to work with them. They're going to collaborate with them. They listen to a lot of the same things. So, as the culture kind of expands and, R&B and singing plays a certain role, we don't have to be rigid at XXL. We want to expand as well with it and show that these guys, are definitely people to watch out for on their own. But we didn't do that by taking 2 spots away from rappers. We went to 12 with that. We didn't put it at 8 rappers and then 2 R&B singers. There's still 10 rappers and 2 R&B singers. So nobody lost a spot because of an R&B dude.
There was talk about from certain artists that being on that cover might be a blessing and a curse. Have you heard that type of talk out there? That sometimes.
I don't know who it cursed. If you could tell me who it cursed, and who it worked against, then I'd be able to have that conversation. But I don't know who particularly the freshman cover actually hurt. Maybe they didn't do other things in their career and then they didn't blow up, but I'm not really sure if you could say that the freshman cover directly hurt anybody. To my knowledge, it's never hurt anybody or anything. It's only given them an opportunity.
And I guess, what are some of the goals of rappers getting into the freshman class? Is it giving up-and-coming rappers something to aspire to as far as getting their music out there and creating a name for themselves if they're not really known?
Or better, what are the benefits of being on that cover and the success stories that, if there are success stories, that was a direct result of them being on that cover? Can you share that with us?
Well, the cover is not a make it or break it thing. The cover is a stepping stone, just like a performance on Jimmy Fallon is a stepping stone. Just like, you know, a big guest appearance on somebody's album is a stepping stone. These are all tools for you to use to get bigger and however you're working your career. You know, our responsibility is not to make you bigger. Our responsibility is to document what's going on in hip-hop. These are the 10 to 12 artists at the time that we're saying, looking into the future and trying to predict the future, have a chance of blowing up. Right now, they've got really, really good buzzes, and they might be future stars of hip-hop based on the guys of the class we're making right now for the 2014 class. But as far as what they get out of it, it's probably a better question to ask them as far as how they've used it to their ability and if it did anything for them or not. You know, we've had 70-something freshmen at this point. So, yeah, of course, they can't all be huge. There's definitely a track record with the ones that are between Macklemore and Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole and Wiz Khalifa. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of different artists that have succeeded off of freshmen. But it's a tool for them to use. It's for something they have to figure out what they do next. Troy Ab's on the cover of XXL right now. What does he do next after that? Well, he's got to go negotiate a deal for himself. So this is some sort of battery in his back or, you know, a weapon for his armor, you know, or a tool that he can use to say, hey, look, whatever label I'm going to, I'm on the freshman cover. But that doesn't mean we get him a deal. That means he uses it for trying to get a better deal for himself.
How much focus is put in on the region from which the artist comes from? You have the Midwest, the South. The South is, you know, obviously making a lot of noise. You know, you got Rich Homie Quan. Is it any great emphasis put on the region the artist comes from? And when you're doing
not for us is the region. I mean, which nobody from the cover is picked because of their region they're from, because of the gender they are, because of the race they are, because of anything like that. It's really about their buzz at the moment. So right now, if you look.
Can I get on the next cover?
No, what's your buzz as a rapper? You know, we got to see. But right now we have 4 freshmen from Chicago on the cover. I think you can reflect. It reflects that Chicago hip hop in Chicago is hot right now. You know,
right.
and that's what's coming up. So the cover is a reflection of what's going on in hip hop right now. We don't sit there and say, you know, we have to have X amount of West Coast guys. We have to have X amount of New York guys. It's about what's going on. If it was like that, you'd see we have a lot more complaints for not enough West Coast guys, and it'd be less Chicago and more West Coast if we were trying to fill, you know, check boxes and fill lanes. But that's not what it's about.
My next to my final question is: can you share with our audience your background and what you've done in the culture of hip hop since you obviously been here for a while, because your name is a buzz in the industry. But can you share with the young people coming up exactly how you got your start and how did you end up landing with XXL?
I started as an intern with XXL in 1998, and I've been here ever since. And I would say intern if you get the opportunity, because, you know, we've hired a lot of interns here before. But also work hard, you know. I mean, it's very easy to have your blog and promote yourself all the time. It's better if you have things that you're doing that you can actually promote or other people can promote, you know. So I think put your head down and work hard. That's the best advice I can give you. Sounds simple enough, but doesn't really happen that often, you know. So get in where you fit in. Figure out what you need to do to be more valuable. You know, it's not about you. It's not about you being the star. You're in an industry where you're covering stars. You're not the star. So if you're consumed with all of that all the time, you know, well then you're doing something wrong. I don't know. You're looking at everything wrong here. You know, if you're trying to be a blogger or a journalist, you know, or whatever, your point is to document everyone else, not have your own show, your own blog, and sell yourself all the time. So I think if you focus on actually working and what your goal is and being clear of that and seeing how many people you're competing with in that lane, you can get an idea of what's right for you and where to go next, you know? And it's a hard industry. It's a hard industry for women. It's a hard industry for everybody in general, entertainment, you know? So how can you make yourself more valuable and what more can you offer?
Was there any woman that you guys considered for this cover?
We considered every woman for this cover, but, you know, anybody that had a buzz. Yes, of course, Rhapsody came up. Yes, of course, you know, Snow the product came up. They weren't in our top 10. It's that simple. And our responsibility is not to say, hey, we're picking 9 freshmen or 10 freshmen. One of them definitely has to be a woman. Let's put that 10th spot aside. Oh, we believe in you, but we're not giving it to you because this is a woman's slot. Well, then we have to do that for the white rapper slot. We have to do that for the Latino rapper slot. We have to do that for the gay rapper slot. We have to do that for the Bay Area slot. We have to do that for the Jersey slot. You know, that's not the cover we're making. We're not filling in boxes that says this is what's doing in female hip-hop and this is what's going on in Bay Area hip-hop. No, we're treating hip-hop exactly how it is. This is a community of a whole bunch of different artists, and we're looking at everybody that we cover, and we're picking out the 10 hottest that we believe in and the 2 R&B artists. And we wish everybody the most success. I'd love if some of those women prove us wrong and say that they should be here and blow up over the next year or two and show us that they should have been on the freshman cover. That would be great. But, you know, it's also the way we do the cover is to pick who we believe in right now under a certain number.
That's dope. Vanessa, I appreciate this time you're taking with Hip Hop
I
Inquirer.
appreciate you supporting freshmen and hip-hop, of course, but freshmen, you know, and us as XXL freshmen, that's
we support hip hop all day.
We know that.
Of course, you know, because they have to get a start somewhere, and it's a responsibility of our platform that we use in order for them to get to the people.
Yeah,
any final words?
Appreciate all the support from all you guys. Thanks for taking the time out to, you know, to care about XXL freshmen. You know, we appreciate anybody who respects the brand and what we're trying to do, you know, with it, and give few dudes who normally don't get that look an opportunity to be seen rather than the same old guys on the cover as always, you know. We've done a lot of the same big dogs because it's hard for them to get much bigger than they already are, or to get guys who are on the come up really, really big like they used to be. So it's harder and harder to find cover guys that can really carry a cover. Freshman gives us the opportunity to try 10 of those guys out and support them in a way that we wouldn't have been able to without freshmen, you know. So thank you for the support on that. We appreciate the fans being into it, you know, and we hope that everyone's happy with all the video content that comes out over the next few weeks.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to run some of it as well. You can shoot us that link at info@hiphopinquirer or run it past the PR team. We'll get it out there.
Definitely.
All love, no hate over here.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Vanessa. Thank you very much, and let's get this out to the world.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to look stupid trying to figure out how to turn this off now, but yes, definitely. I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I appreciate it.
I saw Moses stick his head in there. Hey, Moses, come on, man. Say hi to the people, Moses. We are live, by the way, Moses.
Where is Moses?
He's over there. He's hiding behind a icon. I see him.
Well, thank you, Moses.
See you later.
Here's it. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.